Welcome to The Bank is Open, presented by Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy, breaking down the night in the NBA. Maybe we'll get into some NFL with the conference championship game set. Packed house here. Brian versus the Books, NicLarson, and Mr. Brad Thomas. Boys, what's going on?
Living the dream. Another day, another dollar.
Hey, I don't know if you
Ah,
saw us, but the Lakers made their blockbuster trade. Will we're ready
yes.
to go.
Yes. I don't count.
Hey, don't knock Ruby. I like Rue. He's a solid player there. He's a good 3-and-D guy. He can
They
give
got him for
something to
some.
that team.
Yeah, they got him for some change that was left in the sofa. I mean, they really a couple of second rounders in what was it, none. So I mean, that's I could see taking a chance on that. Not going to change your universe, but worth a shot, I guess.
Depends how you look at the talent they just got there, but whatever. I'm okay. I'm okay with the disrespect to Rue.
Why you think it'll be good?
I think it'll be better. Honestly, it's funny because I think who is it? Monotone Football on Twitter was flipping out over. He's a big Washington guy. I do think for what they gave up, I think he actually will be really good for that team. He's not gonna make the Lakers back to the crazy levels, but I think no one on that Lakers team could hit a consistent 3-point shot. So I think it helps him out a lot.
What does he shoot from three? I don't have it in front of me. Is he a 3-point shooter?
I believe catch and shoot threes for the last 2 years.
pretty
He's been like
high.
40%, I think, for catch and
it was
shoot
like
threes. I don't know about
42%. It was
overall.
like really high.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody had a funny
So
line.
it's,
The
it's
Lakers.
something.
Yeah, it's something. The Lakers are trying to recreate the 2019-2020 Wizards. Is an interesting
Exactly.
Yeah.
strategy. I guess we can get right into the games. Anything you guys have bet in futures wise? Last few. Oh, this is what I wanted to ask. I'll run this by you guys because I started to think about this for the first time last night. One of my friends texted me at the exact same time, the same question. I'll see what you guys think. Can the Kings take a deep breath?
Oh,
Can the
here we
Kings
go.
actually get to the
Oh.
finals?
Fucking right. God
Absolutely
damn. Okay.
not.
Okay.
We're starting to show off this. Will's been drinking, so honestly, I just watched the Kings lose to the Sixers without Harden and Embiid, and it made me think, oh, like, I mean, obviously that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but if they can't win those kind of close down the stretch games, it's a little concerning. I think they made some dumb plays in that.
They
In that
third
game.
in the West right now.
Believe so.
I had bets on them to make the playing game, and I did not expect to lose them because they're going to be third in the West. I don't think they can get there, but for the first time last night, it crossed my mind. I was like, this team's not just a fun story; they're actually pretty good. Again, winning
I
three
don't know if they
series.
play enough. They can score, but I don't know if they
Defense.
can play enough
100%.
defense for a series to
I
get
think
by.
I
I
think
agree.
that's where they lose a lot of traction. Is that NBA obviously is high flying. Everyone wants to score points and this and that, but in the playoffs, the defense really does come into play where you have to be able to make stops and you have to be able to win close games. And they're Swiss cheese on that defensive side, so they're
Yes.
really struggling to make those stops to end or close out games.
Yeah.
27-19, the 3 seed at the moment.
Hey, you guys were making fun of me earlier this year about the Kings.
I know.
Your
The
favorite
jokes
team.
are over. Could they are they a
The
trade
jokes-
away where they can get in the conversation, or probably not?
No, I can't believe it. Like they're bottom third in defensive efficiency. Like that's
They're
kind
bad.
of crazy. They don't play any defense. They're fun to
It's-
watch though, and
Yep.
fun to bet on their player props.
Yep.
That's for sure.
I think it's funny to think about that in the NBA. Everyone always says, "Oh, they don't play defense," or "This team doesn't play defense." The Kings legitimately just do not try to play defense. Like it's almost like they try to tire you out with leaving you wide open, and then late in the game they can score 150 points and hope you're too tired to do it.
Would you guys look at? I'm trying to find Coach of the Year odds. I saw Mike Brown 5-1, something like that. Is that something you guys would consider though? Do you think he wins? I saw Missoula was the short shot. We'll get to the games here in a minute. Missoula was the short shot at plus 150. Like, what has he done? That team was in the finals last year. They're good again. I don't know why
Yeah,
he's the
but-
favorite.
I kind of get the Missoula thing, like with no real coaching experience. He was a behind the bench coach. Anything, that team could have absolutely imploded because of all the drama. And now they're a good team. Like I get the argument of why he's the favorite.
Or it just shows that me or you could coach the team and they'd still be pretty good because they have Tatum and Brown and a good roster.
Or we just totally discredit all of the top NBA
Yes.
coaches. It's all skill. Like honestly, who was that when Peyton Manning was talking about like halftime adjustments?
Yeah.
Like that's what it made me think that like some of these coaches like they don't need to make adjustments because these guys are
Right.
so good. They have so little time, honestly, to make these adjustments. Just like the NBA, go out there, play basketball, train hard. You're superstars.
Yeah, Missoula's plus 180. Taylor Jenkins is 3-1. Malone's plus 330. Mike Brown's 4-1. Jacques Vaughn's 4-1. I don't know. I feel like there'll be a narrative there if Brown gets this team to 40 something wins to get him the award. I don't know. 4-1's interesting to me.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up because it's someone in the chat was also asking, was basically saying that the Kings do give it a lot of extra possessions, which kind of skews the defensive stats. But their big question was, what's the biggest, like, they're really that big different talent between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Kings right now. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that after watching the Grizzlies get worked yesterday by the Kings.
No, they're good. That's the thing. Like, I don't think, like you guys said, I don't think they can win 3 series, but they could beat anyone like individually. Like, there's nobody where I'd put them up against. Oh, they can't beat that team. Like, I'd be hard to see them, beating the Warriors at full strength, but the Warriors have had issues defensively. The Nuggets are good, but the Nuggets like aren't unbeatable. I don't know. The West is kind of wide open. I thought it was a fun question. You guys kind of shit all over it, but that's fine.
It's probably a team you don't want to play in the first round because they have
Yeah,
nothing.
definitely
to lose.
don't want to play them in the first round.
Good home court too. Yeah, absolutely.
I swear, Will has these fun ideas all week, and he's so excited about them. He's like, oh, I can't wait to see the guys. What do you guys think of this? And immediately he's like, I fucking hate these guys. Like,
Yeah, that's 100% right. Games tonight. We'll start here. Bulls are laying 1.5 against the Pacers. Total 234.5. Nick, start us off here. Bulls, Pacers. Any thoughts? Anything you have?
Yeah, I have one for this game. Pretty high on Vucevic rebounds. Pacers team that struggles against centers. Third most rebounds of centers, over 16 a game. He's had 13 plus in 9 of his last 11 games. I mean, it's coming to the point where Vucevic and Randall, I'm just taking it every time until they prove me wrong because the rebound numbers that these two guys are putting up is pretty insane right now. So I'll just ride the hot hand. Although he almost burnt me last time. He had 12 at halftime and only finished with 14.
Yeah.
But 14 rebounds I'll still take tonight. So I do have that play for the night. I don't have anything side or total wise, but I do have that one prop for the Bulls game.
Speaking about size and totals, there actually was someone in the chat that asked our thoughts on Bulls money line. If you want to take that, Will, you're the sides and total guru in this environment we have here.
Yeah, I'm not playing this game. I'll bet some college basketball.
I can answer it. I'm playing this game.
Okay, there we go.
Go ahead,
now
Brad.
we're
I'm
cooking.
playing this game. This is my same game parlay game. I wanted to find one that had minimal injury news and one that I thought we can exploit some overs because I'm not like you guys. I'm built different. I'm not built different. You guys are playing those unders like rock stars. But I do like Bulls money line here. Without Halliburton, like the Pacers have struggled, and I just see the Bulls just effectively scoring. If the Bulls can get out to a lead and not implode in the third quarter like they always do, which is why I'm really terrified of this Bulls money line, I think they win this year. I was actually looking for the splits, but I didn't get them in my email. So once they come, which should be in like the next 10 minutes, I'll go back and tell you what the betting splits are. I'm really confused though on the line movement. So if anybody's been tracking this line, -2 is going the opposite direction, but money line is going up. Like I do like that's not even like a good middle spot to like bet 2 and then bet the other team's money line. So I'm excited to see what the betting splits end up producing. But I think the Bulls win this one. They control the game. Since we're here, let me just talk about my same game parlay because I was really excited to build this one. Aren't we always excited to talk about our props before the game, right? And then the game hits and we're like, what the heck happened? I'm putting Bulls money line in here. I'm going Zach LaVine. I like Zach LaVine to score a lot here. And one thing that I was, interested in Zach LaVine, I was going to take over 26.5 points. But when I got to the 27, I think he's going to get one more. He's been slumping, shooting threes. This is a good opportunity for him to get back into the rhythm. What was kind of weird about Zach LaVine is his volume has gone down in terms of shooting threes. And I think that's going to steadily creep, especially against a team like the Pacers. I took Vucevic. Nick said all the great points about Vucevic's rebounds. 12 plus. He's been an absolute beast. And one thing that Vucevic is actually underrated is assists. Over 3.5 is what I took. I took Vuce rebounds and I took his assists separate as well. That parlay, I'll go through it one more time without the explanation. That's Chicago Bulls money line. Zach LaVine 30 plus, Vucevic 12 plus rebounds, and Vucevic 4 plus assists plus 925. $50 wins you 500. Total payout is $512.04.
Bank is
Great
open,
breakdown.
presented by
That was-
Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy. Any concern about the Bulls coming back from Paris here? The what's the word? Not the hangover, but the
lag.
layover. Yeah, jet lag, time adjustment. I know they played yesterday. They won. Any concern with that one?
I'm not all that concerned.
Yeah, I was about to say, my on top of that point, are you concerned that the Pacers could maybe score more points than the Bulls? Because if that happened, then they probably wouldn't win the game.
Make it harder. Would make it harder.
Yeah, that'd be a tough win to have if they don't score as much points as the other team. So
We need bad Buddy Hield. We need Buddy Hield not making 6 threes today.
yeah, I mean, honestly, the only thing that could really stop the Bulls' momentum after kind of get a little shaken up yesterday is TJ McConnell, who's been surprisingly like he's TJ McConnell is now getting like 30.5 points, rebounds, assist lines now. It's crazy to think his usage without Halliburton has really come into form. But
Yeah.
I just don't think they have enough firepower in terms of the keep of the Bulls and for the Bulls who are supposed to be good. I mean, the Bulls have this roster that on paper you're like, oh, that's probably like a team, and then they play down to their opponents a lot. So as long as they avoid that, like Brad said, with a third quarter slump you usually see with them, I do think they have a good edge here.
I move Halliburton at the deadline now, right? You got your point guard?
You have TJ McConnell. You have White Chocolate. I mean, you have White Chocolate in the flesh. Like Sixers legend TJ McConnell. Oh, yeah, I forgot Eli is a
great.
Pacers fan. Yeah.
I think we can move on here. A rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals. What was a really good 7-game series where the Heat almost came back and stole Game 7. And what would have been just one of the crazier comebacks ever. Boston is in Miami. Miami laying 4.5. Boston's not playing a lot of guys, so be careful with this one. Total 216. Brad, start us off here. Celtics and Heat. Who's going to score more points in this game?
I tweeted about this one. I said that Heat -3 is going to be the most popular bet of them all. No Brogdon, no Brown, no Horford, no Smart. And I was actually surprised they're still going to play Time Lord. I figured they were going to sit Time Lord, but no, Time Lord's going to start. Listen, I think this is one of those things where the Miami Heat are gonna come out flat because they're gonna expect to beat Boston because everyone's out, and this Boston team has enough good players, and good players I mean Jason Tatum, to carry them to an early lead. If that happens, Miami Heat are in trouble. It happens so many times where we see these 5 guys are out for a team, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna hammer Miami. And the team without these players, they cover the spread, and that's the reason why we talk about it on this show. Like the biggest dogs normally win, but this is an important game for Miami. This kind of sets your season of like, we are Miami. We struggled to start, but now we're getting back to a championship caliber team. I was flirting with Bam Adebayo's points, rebounds, and assists in this game, but I kind of wanted 31.5, and it was at 33.5, which is a little bit too high for me. Tyler Hero, his points are a good play, but every single time I bet Tyler Hero points, there's a blowout, and he always gets hooked or loses by 1 or 2. So I stayed away ultimately from this game.
Yeah,
We should have mentioned, Brad. How did we gloss over the headline here? The Magic. The reason the Celtics are sitting all these guys is they got beat down by the best team in Florida. The Magic just owned the Celtics.
Woo, that's a sweep, right?
They are shamed. It's a 3-0 sweep. Yeah, the Celtics can't even show their face. They can't even show their face right now. They're resting everybody, and it's so funny that I saw so many tweets about people saying run to back the Heat now, like et cetera, et cetera. These are the same people that probably forgot that the Heat were just -11 to the Lakers like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and then just like got embarrassed. So the biggest thing with me is in this game, the Heat definitely play down to their competition. Like all season long, they play down to the competition, and then they have this moment of like, oh shit, like we're down, and then sometimes it's too late. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics get the win here. I kind of wish the spread it's only 5 right now. I kind of wish it was a little higher, and I would probably look to back the Celtics, but I feel like it's kind of telling that it's not higher, that they actually believe the Celtics have a chance. This is actually the game I have a same game parlay in, but I have a straight bet as well, which is funny that Brad mentioned it, but I am backing Tyler Hero today.
Okay.
For multiple reasons, but he does play. He's had really good splits. I'm actually taking the points, rebounds, assist for Hero, and it's mostly because I like the points a lot, but he does so many things well in this offense, and he plays so much the second unit that when he sees those non-Lowry minutes, he really is good at the RNA as well. So with Lowry in the lineup, he does average 20.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. So you put that math in, it's a little over 30, 31 PRA. and he just had some monster games against the Celtics. And now without Smart or Jaylen Brown, I mean, my question to you is, I mean, who's going to stop him in that guard room? Like he had success against these top defenders, but now you have guys like, Derek White trying to match up with him, or, some of these guys that are really just there for their offensive productions that aren't really top defensive guards. And I just think this is a game where Tyler Hero should see his normal minutes and he should have a really good game.
Nick, what you got here? Anything?
Yeah, I got one on here. I think Brian's on this as well, so we're probably doomed with this one now.
Yeah, but I'll let you explain it because you laddered. I took the straight bet. He laddered it just to show me up on the show. We were talking about it. It's all right.
Jason Tatum over 7.5 rebounds. He's hit that in 7 of his last 9. I mean, just due to the bodies being out, there's going to be even more rebounds available. He's hit it twice, I believe, so far this season against the Heat. He allowed the 6th most rebounds to small forwards. He's just in a good spot for rebounds in this game. I know Brian took it. You got it on
Caesars has it minus
104.
Minus 104 for 7.5. And
Yeah,
fun fact,
I think it was.
I was going to say it was in 6 back-to-backs this year. He actually has cleared 8.5. I mean, 8+ rebounds in 5 of the 6. So some guys have these weird splits where they actually, you would think you might get nervous in the back-to-back, but he actually has rebounded well in those situations.
Interesting. All right. That covers that game. Probably move on here. Nick
Actually, I have a. This is my same game parlay.
Oh,
Will,
yeah,
I'm sorry, I have to cover that.
No, go ahead.
I don't really want to do the
Actually
parlays,
obligated.
guys. Yeah, if I don't do it, I don't eat tomorrow. It's a whole thing. This is my game parlay. It's actually plus 500 on FanDuel, but I had a free bet in MGM, so I ended up doing that. Brad kind of mentioned the Time Lord. I did include him in this. Are you kidding me? Jay Butler's ruled out. Oh, what the hell?
Wait, what the heck?
So okay, fuck, dude, I hate this shit.
See, they know, man, they know.
It's funny because like now all my Tyler Hero stock is so much more valuable and I love it. But what the hell, man? Jesus, sorry.
That's got to help the Tatum a little too, right? For rebounds.
You would think, but okay. So this is my pointless ass same game parlay that has no weight whatsoever. Let me explain this shit that is not going to be meaningful at all. But Tyler Hero at 18.5 points. That's going to be juiced to minus 800 now, so you can't really include that. Robert Williams, 8+ points. Still think that's a good look without Al Horford in there. I think he still sees some solid minutes. And Derek White assist should not be affected by the Jimmy news, but the Hero stock really will. So that's I guess that's the bomb of the night. That's our early slate bomb.
Oh, we got more coming.
Yeah,
once all the lines
Clippers play tonight.
Sorry, I didn't mean to flip out like that, but that's so annoying. I do want to close out with this. If you have any Tyler Hero stock, I don't know if you're aware. Are you guys aware of Tyler Tuesdays? Brad, do you know?
Yeah.
Will, do you know what that is? I don't know.
I am. Oh, I'm just getting rejected left and right, trying to jam in some Celtics here plus 4.5.
Yeah,
I'm literally like trying so hard.
Yeah, so
my phone even froze.
So Will, I don't. If you ever get a chance, look this up. But between this year and last year, Tyler Hero shoots 44.5% from the field. On Tuesdays, he shoots a little over 54%. Last season, he averaged 28 points per game on Tuesdays, compared to I think his second best day was 23 points per game. So for some reason, Tyler Tuesdays.
As to why, or is this just you think a little statistical noise?
It's Tyler Tuesdays, man. That's what
Tacos.
it is. He gets some tacos. It's the alliteration. Last season, he had 24 points per game on Thursdays and 28 points per game on Tuesdays. Tyler Tuesdays, Tyler Thursdays. He likes alliterations.
Trying to jam in as much. I got some plus 2.5 first half.
You guys,
I didn't get anything.
So I don't know if you guys are in the same boat, but whenever a slate breaking news like that happens, I just feel my phone vibrating of all my friends are like, "Oh shit, you see that?" Like it's just like everyone has the same reaction. Of what we just all did collectively. Can you believe it?
And it's look, there's like a maybe 10-15 second window, sometimes 30 seconds, sometimes less, of like you're able to jam this stuff in. Sometimes you can get it in, sometimes you can't. It's just how it goes.
I got greedy and I put Adebayo 25 plus in the slip. I should have just gone ahead and taken the plus 4 and rode, but I tried to get both and parlay them because it would have been like plus 350 or something like that. And then it froze. Greed
Damn.
never wins.
So
All right,
does
anything-
Jimmy Butler care about the regular season? Like I don't like.
I don't even think he cares about playing.
Was he even on the
basketball
injury
with
report? I checked the injury report for
He
the Heat. He
wasn't.
was not on there.
He was not on there. That's why I said what when he said I literally have the injury report open. I was like,
His back's
Weird.
hurting.
Damn. All right.
he's probably gonna go eat some vegan juice with Jaylen Brown, then hit the strip club.
Is that a TNT game too?
Yeah.
It is. Interesting. Usually these guys have gotten away from a little bit trying to take off these games at our national TV primetime to just for the betterment of the league, try to make these games more exciting. But I don't know. Maybe there's a reason he's sitting out, but it's definitely become a problem in the league. Like it's not as bad this year, but the last few years it's just gotten really bad. Like we joke all the time about the Clippers, but they're not the only one, man. These guys just they don't seem to play a lot of basketball. These top players, it's crazy.
No.
Oh, that's so crazy. I mean, I feel bad for anyone that has all their mega lock whale on the Heat
Right.
after all the Boston news, just to find
Oh
out
my
that.
God! Could you
Buckets is there.
imagine? I can't
So,
wait.
so I don't have the numbers on top of my head, but you'd think this helps Tyler Hero, right? Like I don't know what
It
his usage
has
looks
to.
like without you, but you would
Yeah.
think he's gonna ball out, especially on a Tuesday.
It helps every aspect: points, rebounds, and assists. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
All right. Anything else before we move on?
No, I'm just
No,
gonna
so
retweet
that was a
my
little bit
same
longer
tweet.
than we planned for because of that
Yeah.
bombshell during the game. That was something else.
You're basically like Woj now, Brian.
Yeah, you
I'm,
are.
no, I'm shams. I get paid. I get paid by the books. That's what everyone believes anyway.
All right. Cavs in the Garden tonight, -3.5. Knicks have not played well recently. Cavs laying a short number. Brian, you want to start us off here? Cavs and Knicks.
Yeah. I actually lean Cavs here. Oh, it looks like everyone's leaning with me. Cavs are at 3.5 now. I just feel like the Knicks just come out super hot and they struggle to close out games. And we know we get Donovan Mitchell back. I'm not super gun ho on Donovan Mitchell like having a big, massive scoring night. Not saying that it won't happen, but that actually led me to why I was taking Darius Garland over 20.5. In Mitchell's absence, he's been an absolute beast. He's been looking for his shots. They've been making a concerted effort for him to look for a shot. And I think, as you work back in, if you're a guy like Mitchell, it's okay to defer to him. Now you actually have a guy who you can legitimately give the ball and they can score baskets. So at 20.5, I think it's a play that's worth mentioning.
I like that. I do think I think the Heat. We talked about earlier with the Kings playing. I think sometimes the Knicks defense seems more formal than it is because I do think they can be, especially with good guard play. To add on to that, I do think the Cavs have a good matchup here. I do lean the Cavs. I'm actually taking, you mentioned earlier about being brave enough to take unders. I'm taking Julius Randle's under of 25.5 points. And last time I took his under on this show, he proceeded to take 29 field goal attempts in that game. And I still won, but I'm pretty sure I lost like 6 pounds worth of sweat as he kept chucking every single shot he could.
Wasn't
But
he taking
actually,
like a ton of threes?
yeah, he was 1 for 12 from 3. It was a whole
You could
thing.
say 8 in the first quarter every game.
I remember that.
It was the least fun I think I've ever had watching a basketball game. But since that game, I don't know if Tibbs, I don't know who or somebody talked to him or this or that, but in his last 8 games, he's actually taken 20 or less field goal attempts in 7 of the 8. So I do think that game was almost a changing point in the Knicks where someone had to talk to him and say, "Hey, you're a guy, this and that," but you just can't be chucking 30 shots. Not saying he won't, but in this matchup, he gets, Evan Mobley and Jared Allen down low, and they've actually held him to under 20 points in both games this year in the matchups. With RJ Barrett back, his field goal volume's down, his scoring's down. Outside of his really hot streak in December, 25.5 is just not a line he's hitting consistently at all. He just had that really hot 2 weeks, and he's kind of cooling down a little bit. And I think that Robinson being out actually makes it even tougher for him because he takes half the shots inside 10 feet from the rim. And if you take away the length of Robinson, that leaves Allen and Mobley sole focus on Julius Randle in that inside paint. And I just think that's a little too high of a line. Honestly, I thought this would open around 23.5. So to see 25.5, a whole basket higher, I think is a great play for this.
Yeah, I got one play for this game, and it's also Randall. Once again,
Did you
Not the greatest-
ladder is under alt points all the way down to under 8.5.
No, he's one of my favorite guys to watch now, and I don't like I said, the shots are gonna be there. It's whether they go in or not, because he's gonna take his 5 to 8 threes in the first quarter, like always. You just need him to miss his first couple because it slows him down a little bit. Because if he hits those first two, he's not passing after that at all.
Yeah.
But I'm laddering his rebounds. I don't know what's with his rebounds lately, but he's had 12 plus in 17 of his last 21 games. He's coming off a 19 rebound game. He just hunts rebounds now. I mean, I don't know if he's making his all-star campaign stats look better or what he's doing here, but I'm going to keep betting his rebound ladder until, like Vucevic, until it proves it wrong. But he's hit 16 numerous times over that stretch as well. So I'm going to ride with the Randall rebound ladder here.
No, he's been bullying a lot recently. He's been
Like you said, with Robinson out, it only increases.
Oh yeah,
his
and he's
rebound
so good
stat.
at missing bunnies and getting his
Yeah,
own,
and he gets his
own
own
offensive
rebound.
rebounds.
Yep.
Yeah, he loves
He
that.
probably
shit,
does that on
dude.
purpose too. So
Yeah, I
This
think
just went
last
to 4 on FanDuel. Celtics moved to +2. So, damn, would have been nice to jam that one in there.
yeah. Donovan Mitchell is playing, which is funny because when I got that notification that mentioned Donovan Mitchell, I thought he was gonna be ruled out too. I thought we were just gonna have like the worst clusterfuck, but Donovan Mitchell is in, so we at least have that going for us.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's see here. Nuggets are laying a point against the Pelicans. Pelicans have not played great recently. A bunch of injuries finally starting to catch up with them. Total 230.5. Nick, you want to start us off here? Nuggets in the Pelicans.
yeah, these are actually two of my early picks earlier in the season for the West. I did like Porter Jr. in this game, but he got ruled out, right?
Yeah,
He did.
He did.
So
yeah.
there's still
I
like
like him
15% chance he still plays. Trust me.
Yeah, there's a chance he comes back and plays. I'm probably gonna stay away from this game. There's not a lot I like in it. I would probably lean Nuggets here if I were to take a side. I'm probably just gonna watch this game. I like watching both of these teams play, but there's nothing really that caught my eye as far as props or I might do something with the Nuggets money line, but I don't really have anything in pocket right now for it.
This one was tough too. Like, there's just so many unknowns, and if Joker's gonna play or not. Like for me, if Joker is out, I'm gonna play Jamal Murray, play his points. But if he's in, like I think 21.5 is just something I don't want to play. Even though it's only -105, it's not like it's like super juiced or anything. It's just there's just so much production that's lost on that court, and I'm not really overly concerned about the Herb Jones Jamal Murray matchup there. If you want to defer to Aaron Gordon, but I probably have Aaron Gordon set at 15.5, and the books have him at 17.5, which is just 2 points is a lot for something that I'm not confident in. Yeah, I don't really like this game, so I don't have much to say on it. But I just want to say the props that I was looking at. I might throw Murray in a parlay, like why not just get the -105 odds in the parlay, and if it misses, it misses. But at the end of the day, it was a long shot anyway.
He's another one of those
Yeah.
guys where if he hits his first couple shots, he's got the
Yeah.
green light the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's also worth noting too that Jokic props haven't been listed all day, which doesn't even mean anything. But I've noticed that sometimes when players aren't listed and they're questionable, they tend to be out. And sometimes if they're on the fence and they have props listed, I feel like more often than not, they are usually play. So it is a little worth noting that he's not listed at all. So I wouldn't be shocked if he sits out this game.
Anything else here? Any lean towards side total? Anything else?
I don't think so. I think it's a dead set. I think the -1 is a perfect line. It's really a pick 'em in this game.
All right. Wizards +7 in Dallas. Total 225.5. The Porzingis revenge game. Nick, start us off here. Wizards and Mavs. What you got?
I mean, I was just looking. This is the biggest spread of the night here. So do we auto bet Wizards
I
here?
feel like we have.
No, here's what we do. We don't bet it, and then we text an hour and a half from now when the Wizards are up 20, and we get pissed off that we didn't.
Because
bet
you just know in the history of this show, it would have been like 7-0, and the one time
Oh
we
my
decide to
God.
squad ride
Yeah.
it, we're gonna get blown the fuck out. It's gonna be horrible.
I know a lot of people are on Kuzma, who has a pretty good matchup in this game. I
like
haven't
that.
taken anything in this game either.
We need
I don't
Brad
know.
to guarantee Girl Scout cookies if
Yeah.
Dallas won't win. Then we
Did-
know
Did you
what'll
ever
happen.
follow through with that? Whatever
Well,
happened
not.
there?
No one. I specifically said they have to show me a slip of them betting it, and no one. I even put it in the chat. I was like,
Good
I
point.
have Girl Scout cookies for anybody who shows me the slip that they bet it. But no, I actually there were so many props that I liked in here, but I just felt like they were just a little higher for than I wanted. Like I thought it'd be a good spot for Kyle Kuzma. 24 and a half. I think that's pretty fair. Spencer Dinwiddie, I was really expecting 17 and a half. I don't know if that number moved by the time I finished work today or what, but like 19 and a half is a ton of points. Like I know that we lose the production of Christian Wood, so that's a little bit more points, but that's still a ton of points. So like I think this is going to be a close enough game for you to hit player props, but it could also be one of those games where we see like Bradley Beal go for 30, Luka go for 35,
Yeah.
Kuzma go for 25, and you just take everyone's alt lines and just smash them.
Yeah, I do think that's a good look, and the one player that's like an oddball out in this game that I think is worth noting. I actually was close to taking my Monty Moore has actually been doing really
Oh,
well
yeah.
in that secondary role. So his PRA is actually set at 18 and a half, and he kind of formed that role where
I love
you
it. I
know,
love his assist normally.
yeah, because I mean, like, he kind of reminds me of not really, but at the same thing where you kind of remember like last year he had like that Jalen Brunson role that whenever the superstar Luka came out, he kind of ran that second spot. Whenever Beal comes out, Monty Morris actually does like a decent job of running that second unit and racking up a little bit of a stats there. So I do think this is a matchup where he could rack up the softer part of the Dallas Mavericks defense. But that's the only look I would really consider in this game.
Anything else before we move on?
No, I was trying to see what Avia's rebound line was. I feel like this is a good rebound game for him if he stays out of foul trouble.
What's Rue's lines at? What's Hachimura at? Is he
He's at sitting on the bench eating
Yeah,
some sunflower
he's
seeds
not-
watching the Lakers play.
he's not listed anywhere. That's weird.
I was wondering if there's a ripple effect in the locker room, like, oh man, are we giving up on the season, something like that? But probably not. It's probably such an insignificant trade that
Yeah, whenever you give
probably
away a top
doesn't
star like
matter.
Hachimura, yeah, it's your top go-to guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even about his production; it's about the message it sends to the team. But again, that's probably a stretch. Probably doesn't matter. Anything else? Or are we good to go to the next game here?
You can go to the
No,
next
we're
one.
good to head out. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank God, man. That's all it took.
Geez.
Suns laying 6.5 against the Hornets. Total 226.5. Brad, you want to start us off here? Suns and the Hornets.
Yeah, man. I need to know if LaMelo is going to play, right? That changes pretty much everything I think about this game. I'd probably take the points with the Hornets here if he plays. I just like even with Chris Paul back, like there's so much on his shoulders. Like you saw last game, he was 22 points and 11 rebounds. I mean 11 assists, something like that. They are not good team. Like they are not good. They're trying to get healthy, but like even like their role players are out. Like Shamit's out now. Like this is a tough situation for them. I don't know if Ayton has been ruled out. I just went with the
He
assumption that
is.
he was out.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
out.
I didn't see that. Like, but I and then like I kind of wanted to play Chris Paul points, but can he replicate that game that he had last game? I don't know. Like, does he try to replicate that game? They're not going to get blown out. Like it's the Hornets. Hornets don't play any defense. Like Hornets don't blow teams out. They have 13 wins on the season, so we can just call a spade. That this will be good if you want to take Chris Paul's points, but I just don't know if I can pull the trigger.
Speaking of Ayton,
Yeah.
I saw a report earlier that said earlier today he was upgraded to doubtful. I don't think I've ever seen an upgrade to doubtful before.
Yeah.
I was like, what does that
Honestly,
mean?
I wouldn't be surprised if he's traded in the next few days. I feel like he's been out for like a week now. I wouldn't be surprised if they're exploring a 3-team option with Siakam in terms of NBA trade deadline. Now that he's free to go because
Wait,
I
why would the Raptors trade Siakam though? You think?
I don't know. I mean, Siakam's been like the hot name I think I've seen in all over between the Nets, Suns, and Raptors. I don't know exactly
What
what
would
the
that
reason
trade
would
look like?
be.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a 3-way trade where I think the names I've been hearing have been like guys like Kuzma, Siakam, and Ayton / Cam Johnson. That's kind of, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I just think that the Suns are going to move off him. I mean, they kind of held him against his will in this whole half a season after, matching that bet offer. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him move. I just don't know what that trade would look like if they do decide that 3-team trade.
Yeah, I brought the idea up the other day that the Suns are maybe a sneaky team second half to try to tank and get Wembanyama, trade Ayton, trade Paul, just build around Booker, Bridges, and whatever trades you get back and hope to strike gold in the lottery. I do think, we talked about at the beginning of the season, it hasn't played out, but I do think as we get to the trade deadline here, there's going to be a lot of conversations with these teams. All right, where are we really going here? What's our direction? Are we really going to make a run here? The play-in adds a loop adds a little curveball to this where so many of these teams feel like they're in it, but man, with Wembanyama sitting there and it's a good draft, I wonder how many of these teams pivot and say, you know what, take our good players. We'll just try to get some lottery balls. It's interesting.
Yeah.
What team do you think's the key trade deadline team? It's got to be the Raptors, right?
Yes.
I mean, they've got Van Fleet, Trent, OG,
Yep.
and Siakam that have all been floated out there. I know the Bucks were trying to get Trent earlier, but
yeah, I actually pulled up the report I was looking at earlier too. The big name I think that is linked to a lot of this trade talk would be Miles Turner. I think Miles Turner is a guy that the Suns were already looking at, and so were the Raptors.
God, he's been in
and
so many
if
rumors,
they can
it's
find,
crazy.
yeah, I think it's one of those things where if the Suns can find a 3-team trade option, it's clear the Pacers want DeAndre Ayton after offering the max contract. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like the trade option to find its way onto the Pacers in a 3-team trade.
Interesting. Anything else you guys have on this game before we get to the last one? And then JD has a parlay here.
I do not.
I'd take a look at, if I knew for sure LaMelo was out, I'd take a look at Rozier points, but I'm not going to play that if I don't know about LaMelo.
The Suns also are a weird team right now where they either lose by 40 or win by 40 somehow. I don't get how that works. A lot of the
league right now, man. There's some strange results. Last night was a strange night with all the teams scoring 150. It's league's in a weird spot right now. It's strange. It's hard to predict. All right, the final game. Our Clippers are laying 5 against the Lakers. I actually thought about taking the Clippers here, but it was 3.5. It went to 5. I wanted to take the Clippers just to I think they're a better team than the Lakers. I think they'll win this game. 5's a little rich for my blood. Paul George and Kawhi have decided they're going to work tonight. They're going to actually do their jobs and play.
They're still
towards the Clippers, but not going to play it. Nick, what do you got here, Clippers and Lakers?
I've got Zubac revenge game here. In for a rebound ladder. The Lakers really struggle against big guys. 5th most rebounds to centers, giving up over 16 a game. He's averaging 12.5 against them this year in 2 games. I just think that there's going to be plenty of rebounds available for him to eat up here. I don't know. I kind of like the Lakers. I don't know why. They've been
a little scrappy. They've been better than you think. They've been okay. I don't know what if we talked about it with the Kings earlier. Can they win 3 series? Probably not. But can they get in and annoy somebody with a healthy LeBron and Davis? They sure could.
And then I also have.
Oh, no,
go ahead.
About that. No, I was gonna say I think the biggest question mark on this slate is, in this game is LeBron James, because would you be surprised in an hour if you see that he's rolled out? I wouldn't. He's still questionable for tonight.
He's probably texted Paul George and Kawhi if they're playing. He's playing.
That's what it is. It sounds bad, but
if they're playing,
like LeBron James at this point is kind of in that mode that he's gonna play with Bronny, and anytime there's a physical matchup, he's like, "Listen, back killing me. I don't feel like being out there right now."
Bronny's still got a few years, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be a freshman. What, next year?
Yeah.
So it's still 2 more years. He's not even like a surefire NBA guy. Like, I think if he can, get stronger, he'll be better. He has a lot of, Donovan Mitchell in him, but like to say you want to be a Donovan Mitchell type is not like, that's tough. Like, Donovan Mitchell doesn't wow you with like his size and his strength. He's just freaking good at basketball. Like,
a lot of smart, he'd play like Michael Jordan or something. Like, that's what I would do.
He picked the wrong guy.
I would just start playing like one of the greats. That's what I'd do. I would just decide to do that.
Here's the thing nobody talks about with Bronny and Bron Jr. Like, if you're Bronny, like, do you really want to play with your dad? It's hard enough to get out of your dad's legacy. Now you're going to play with him and you're going to be overshadowed even more. Don't you kind of want to go out on your own and just kind of be your own player? I don't know.
Hell no. I'd want to play with my dad. I think that'd be badass. If my dad was the best player in the world,
I think this thing for Bronny, and even you look at Manning, you look at Arch Manning, like Archie's a little like whatever. You see those guys, like, man, talk about having shoes to fill when you make it to the big league. You say, oh my goodness, that's gotta be tough. Like, you throw an interception in your your rookie campaign, you're already looked at as like, this guy can't cut. Could you imagine having those names in front of you? That's crazy. They both have a tough sledding the next few years.
JD has the same game parlay. Nick, did you have a same game parlay for this one?
Yeah, I got it for this game. I have Kawhi Leonard, 6 rebounds, LeBron James, 6 assists, Paul George, 2 threes, Zubac over 10.5 rebounds, and then you heard this right, Russell Westbrook over 1.5 3-pointers.
Oof.
I was
Okay.
like, I saw that and I was like, that can't be right. And then I looked at it. He's hit that in 7 of his last. He's actually shooting threes very well lately. He's hit it in 7 of his last 10. So that's what really boosted the parlay up to around plus 1,000. So I'm gonna ride with that.
I think I'm going to tail that one. And we have JD's parlay from tonight. Man, he's been just on an absolute heater. JD's parlay is Jalen Brunson to score 20 plus points, Julius Randle to score to get 10 plus rebounds, LeBron to score 30 plus points, Kawhi to score 25 plus points, then Vucevic double-double and the Bulls to win, Luka Doncic double-double and Dallas to win. This pays plus 1657. So if you want to tail along with that, that's JD's got a way of finding himself in the green. So that's probably a good one to tail there.
Can I ask you guys?
Yeah.
Since I saw this, okay. First of all, FanDuel put out an absolute blessing of a boost yesterday. I didn't realize it was going to take till the very last minute to cash it. It was plus 320, and I'm sorry that I did not put it in my channel. But I'm not a hockey expert, and one of the legs was hockey. When I mean I'm not a hockey expert, I'm like furthest removed from a hockey expert, so I didn't feel like I should tell people to tail something with one of the legs being hockey. The boost today is Kawhi and LeBron to combine for 60. Thoughts on that?
What's it boosted to?
Plus 125.
125.
Right? Yeah.
Combined for 60?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm
No, I wouldn't do that.
I'm seeing the whole LeBron's never dropped 40 against the Clippers. It's the only team, so he's going to show out. But at the same time, the Clippers are not an easy team just to decide to drop 40
Yeah.
on. So I kind of want to steer clear of all of that because I see some people on Twitter that are smart that are taking LeBron under 32.5. So I'm almost at the point where I'll just root for either side of gambling Twitter and gambling people in general for whoever's fading LeBron or riding the 40 plus and just hope something good happens to somebody. But I don't know if I can back either side of that. It's I don't know how to think about it.
That's tough, right? And like I feel like every game where it's been like we should bet LeBron 30 plus, he like doesn't even really like shoot the ball until the fourth quarter. And then like the games where it's like no way LeBron goes off in this game. Like too physical of a matchup. He has like 35 points.
You said it was
Yeah,
30-30 for what is it, plus 125?
It's
Oh,
60
it's
combined.
Combined, 60 combined.
60 combined. DraftKings has Luka and LeBron 65 combined
Yeah,
for plus 100.
LeBron got both boosts in him today. I don't know. It's
Oh,
a
LeBron's
tough one.
LeBron's not hitting then. I did take Luka and Kawhi in my parlay. So maybe if
Maybe
some
you're
boost wants to
safe.
put out, like maybe I'm safe for my parlay. It's just
Yeah.
LeBron who is the guy who I need to be afraid of.
Gonna be icing his knees. You know, he's gonna be in ball wrap.
All right, before we get out of here, we'll go around the horn here. Who's going to the Super Bowl? Nick, go ahead.
Bengals, just like Bengals and Niners.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles as I'll be there Sunday. Go Birds! And
Oh, you're going to the
I
game?
actually think, I have tickets, but I also have my alumni weekend for college shit. So I'm trying to see if I should get rid of them or if I should. My friend has season tickets, so I just kind of mooch off them. But I'll definitely tailgate even if they don't go to the game. I'll probably make something work. But I do think unbiasedly, I think the Eagles are a better matchup. As far as the other side, I would go Bengals as well. I do think that I think the whole public's with the Bengals, but I do think they just always have a way to beat this team. I don't know what it is about it.
3 straight?
I think so. I think I'm rooting for the Bengals only because I'm less depressed if the Eagles make it to the Super Bowl and lose to the Bengals over the Chiefs. Because at least it's like cool. You know, it's cool to lose to Joe Burrow. You don't want to lose to Big Red in another Super Bowl run for them.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Could be Andy Reid versus the Eagles in the Super Bowl. What you got, Brad?
I said this before the playoffs started. I'm gonna stick with it. Bengals, Eagles. Me being the Bama guy, and my uncle used to cut Jalen Hurts' hair. I got all this Jalen Hurts memorabilia at my house. I'm probably the biggest Jalen Hurts fan there is. So it'd be freaking awesome to see him in the Super Bowl. Like that would just be like icing on the cake for as much adversity as he had to go through, and then even getting doubted up until this offseason. So I know it's a lot. It has to do with the weapons around him, but you still have to make the plays. You still have to make the decisions. So that'd be a pretty cool Super Bowl for me to watch.
And now we're waiting for Will's answer.
Yeah, I guess I'll go Bengals 49ers. Man, 49ers Eagles is such a great game. Like all the good quarterbacks in the AFC, the two best rosters just top to bottom are Eagles 49ers. They're sort of mirror image of each other. Like they're both going to run the ball. They're both going to stop the run. That's going to be an absolute war. I actually like the under in that game, 45.5. I think it'll be similar to Dallas.
I might be taking that as well.
San Fran, where I just think it's 23-20 somebody. I think San Fran's a good teaser leg. I think it's a toss-up game. Boy, it does worry you Purdy on the road.
Teaser leg.
Yeah,
I was
it's
gonna
tricky.
say-
But you trust the Chiefs enough to tease him. I just don't know. Mahomes on one leg really scares me. That's his
I
back
almost
leg,
think
pant leg.
I almost convinced myself that the Chiefs are going to blow them out after everyone's collectively saying that it's a
know.
Bengals game. Isn't that weird to say? But I feel like the whole Chiefs being underdogs is kind of making me think, holy hell, what's going to happen in that game?
Well, the Chiefs were the favorite. This is so frustrating. I had this in my bet slip. I had the Chiefs up to, the Bengals up to 8 because the Chiefs were a 1.5 point favorite. And then I had the 49ers up, and I was like, I'll just lock this in a little bit. Literally like 45 minutes after the line released, it like got smashed down to the Bengals being like -1.5.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that takes my teaser value out of it.
Yeah.
So I probably won't tease anything. Who knows? There's a long time until game time. I feel like I'm going to be going back and forth. And then every single time we get on one of these and we talk to a bunch of people, it's like one other like gear changes. And you're like, oh, I didn't think about this. Boom, didn't think about that. So maybe we'll see what happens. But I do like the Niners as a teaser leg at least.
I'll say this to add on to that. If as an Eagles fan, I religiously never bet my teams. I just hate doing it, and I'm a little concerned that I'm confident in the Eagles as a team. I did take them -2 at open because as we were talking about, I think this is a very evenly matched team in terms of how they stop the run, like Will said, and how they play. But end of the day, like last week watching Brock Purdy, just like it wasn't the same matchup in terms of when he's forced out of the pocket, he made some questionable plays.
Yeah.
Diggs dropped a pick. I think there's 2 drop picks I saw. Just one of those things where if the Eagles pass rush can get him out of the pocket, make him uncomfortable, I just think I trust Jalen Hurts with the weapons the Eagles have to make a much needed drive in a big spot than I would Brock Purdy in like that case. Because at the end of the day, he's been fantastic. But he's still a 7th round rookie, and that's just like a tall task in a conference championship away in Philly, which is the worst environment to be in. And I can attest to it being really tough just to be around to. And some of the things that are said, it's crazy. But I do think it's just one of those things where it's a lot to ask your rookie quarterback that's coming in.
I do have an NFL question for you guys. If you are the Bills, what do you do? You have a team that's built not even for like they can't play physical. They're like a finesse type team. And then you have Burrow, you have Mahomes, you've got Jacksonville a couple pieces away maybe from being potentially a regular contender. You've got Josh Allen, who's praised as a top 2, top 3 quarterback, but he hasn't. What has he won? Like, he hasn't won anything.
Yeah,
It's
they look shaky in the second
do?
half of the year. You got to get a running game. Yeah, you just got to kind of run it back and retinker and get better on both lines.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have to get a running game, and I think you go out and you invest some draft capital, go get a Bijan Robinson type. Like as crazy as that sounds, but like you can't put so much ownership on Josh Allen. And I don't think that James Cook is going to be the running back that everyone believes. Like I think James Cook will be a good change of pace back. There's a reason like guys like him and Tony Pollard aren't starters. Like and on the defensive side of the ball, like they obviously missed Von Miller. You have to get a better pass rush. Like you have to get pressure on guys like Burrow. You can't give guys like Burrow and Mahomes time to think. They're the most deadly passers in the game because when they have time to think, they're just so smart with the ball. I saw something on Twitter that I thought was kind of funny where they asked, "Is the Bills dynasty over?" Like the Bills have always been overhyped. The dynasty never started.
The Clippers of the NFL, guys.
And the Bills need to invest in a new offensive coordinator. I think it was Will who said losing Dabble was going to bite them in the behind.
Yeah. The only thing you do with sports, whether it's baseball, NBA, you get there, you give yourself a chance where you're late deep into the playoffs every year, and once in a while you get lucky and you win. It happened with the Braves, like the Dodgers have been there year in year out. Like you just got to keep going, getting deep, and hopefully one year things break your way. It's hard to win. It's what it shows. It's really hard to win. Even the Chiefs Like Mahomes is hurt. Say they get knocked out. This is 5 years in a row they've hosted the AFC title game. Like one Super Bowl kind of feels like a disappointment, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to win these things.
As an
That's
Eagles
something
fan,
out there that Mahomes has never played a road playoff game. Is that correct?
Crazy.
yeah.
Unbelievable. They've had home
Yeah.
field throughout.
I was gonna say, as an Eagles fan, it's the same thing with the early 2000s Eagles, 4 straight conference championships, and we didn't even come out in the Super Bowl. So I was gonna say, I don't know if this is a crazy take. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on this, but I think whoever comes out of the NFC East is almost NFC East. Whoever comes out of the NFC is almost who I would favor in a Super Bowl because of what we just said about talking about having to have that run game and having to be able to make those stops. I mean, I think both teams in NFC are the two most formidable teams in that exact regard of establishing the run and just making these long drives happen, where it almost bites teams like the Bengals or the Chiefs in the ass when you can't say establish a long drive in the fourth quarter with the lead or something like that. I feel like it's one of those things where I'd almost favor the NFC to come out and win the Super Bowl, whether it's Niners or the Eagles.
I think it's interesting. I think it'd be matchup dependent. I think like if the Eagles play the Bengals, I'm picking the Eagles. But if like the Eagles play the Chiefs, I'm picking the Chiefs. If the Niners play the Chiefs, I'm probably picking the Niners. Niners versus Bengals, I'd probably pick the Bengals.
I wouldn't be surprised if any of these teams won. I think it's 4 evenly matched teams. Honestly, the only team that would the team that would surprise me the most right now winning the Super Bowl is actually the Chiefs, as hard as that is, just because I don't think.
I'm about to say, I think the Chiefs too, because I try to take bias. I try to take bias out of it as someone that has, immense, like very emotionally invested in the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's the Chiefs too, without bias. I think they're the team that, weirdly enough, I have probably who I would put fourth in my rankings of who I think has a chance right now.
I mean, Nick, you know this. You pitched in college, and we both pitched. Like your back foot, that's where you plant. That's where you drive. That's your whole base. Like that's hard to push off and just drive the ball. It's going to be hard for him to run. I'm just very skeptical. I know he'll shoot him up with everything under the sun, but just hard to imagine he'll be really effective.
Yeah, that's why some of those throws he was making in that second half were nuts. It's like because he has no backside push there at all, and it's just he's just slinging stuff and it's crazy.
And he does have the arm, he does have the angles, he can do all that stuff. But Romo was making the point. He said he had the same injury, and the best day to play with it is the day you get it. It just gets worse and worse, and it's hard to walk, and you're going to be on crutches. It's I don't know, it doesn't sound good. And this line move to Cincy makes you think somebody knows something that this isn't it. Not only did the line move, but it just kept moving. That actually opened up KC -3. Then it's 1.5. Then it's 1.5 the other way. Then it's 2. It's like, I don't know. I feel like somebody knows something that it's just not good with Mahomes.
Yeah, it's tough to sprain ankle. Like I can't think of one quarterback who won a big game with a sprained ankle. Like even in college.
No, yeah, I was gonna say that at the end of the show, I will say that I did take one of the props I put on the show yesterday with Ryan. I did take Pacheco over 46.5 rushing yards in that game. The Cincinnati Bengals have a great run defense recently, but he's just so explosive, and the Chiefs have so much spread formation where I think he should get 12 or so carries where he should be able to get to 50+ yards. So I think that's a good look if you're looking for a prop in that game.
And I played Chiefs team total under 23.5. Look, if you get to 24, you beat me. I just think they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have quick throws, conservative. So I like the Chiefs under there. But before we get out of here, let me just read JD's parlay again because I know a few people are asking. It is plus 1657, 6-way parlay. Brunson 20+ points, Randall 10+ rebounds, LeBron James 30+ points, Kawhi Leonard 25+ points, Vucevic for Chicago double and the Bulls win, Luka Doncic double and the Mavericks to win. Again, that is plus 1657. You can check that out, goboys.com. But I think that covers it, boys. We'll be back Thursday. Anything else?
No, man. I hope you guys win a ton of money. One of us is in the same game.
All the money.
I prefer it to be all of us.
Yes. All right. Thank you to Pickett Sports. Thank you to Boom Fantasy. Check them out. Be back Thursday. Good luck with all your bets. Thank you guys for listening.